Okay, good evening. I'd like to call to order the regular January 2nd, 2024 council meeting. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for pledge.
God, we come to you tonight. God, first recognizing that you are the sovereign God. You are the one, God, who orders our steps, who orders this world. And God, that you are the one who puts ultimately leaders, governing authorities in place. And so we do pray for these leaders here that God represent this community of Lebanon. Father, I pray for those who have served and those that are just beginning to serve. God, I pray that your word calls us to act justly, to love mercy, to walk humbly with our God. God, I pray that this group of people would be marked by people, by loving justice and caring for and loving mercy. God, caring for those that are marginalized and those that are hurting and broken. And God, we certainly feel that tonight with loss in our community. And God, I pray that this room would be filled with humility. And Father, your word says that God, you oppose the proud, give grace to the humble. So Father, I pray that the decisions that are made and the things that are spoken would consider the opinions and the welfare of others over our own. And God, we just acknowledge you, grateful for Christ who came for us and who has died for us, has risen from the dead, and God is our hope ultimately for this life and the life to come. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next will be a verbal roll call of council members present for the record.
Councilmember Atkins. Councilmember Back.
Here.
Councilmember Joy.
Present.
Councilmember Perkins.
Present.
Councilmember Sexton.
Present.
Councilmember Locke.
Present.
Mayor Nickerson.
Present. Next, approval of the December 19th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Are there any corrections or changes to these minutes? All those in favor of accepting these minutes, changes, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Council organization selection of a vice mayor. Will open the floor for nominations for vice mayor.
I nominate David Locke.
Would we be able to side this until all council members are present?
I don't know how you would do that.
Since we're missing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be done at the first meeting for organization.
I would like to nominate Nicole.
Okay, I second.
So you're nominating Nicole?
Yeah.
Second.
No, there's no second.
Second. Is there any others?
I'll nominate Nicole Atkins.
She's already been nominated.
Okay.
She doesn't have to be nominated more than once.
Okay.
The problem is the next one to accept the nomination.
I'm sorry.
She's not here to accept the nomination.
Okay.
So she
So we can vote, so one way or the other, whether she's here, so she could get it without it. Okay. Are there, ask if there's any other?
Any other nominations?
Then you just close the floor for nominations.
Okay, we'll close the floor for nominations and proceed to voting. Roll call for the vote, please.
So we'll just have them do, so you guys will say whether you want Atkins or Locke for the vice mayor, second, and go down, that's the roll call.
Councilmember Perkins.
You're voting on Tammy or you're voting on Nicole for vice mayor?
I'll vote for the call.
Councilmember Long.
Locke.
Councilmember Joy.
Lock.
Councilmember Sexton.
Nicole.
Mayor Nickerson.
Nicole.
Councilmember Back.
Nicole.
Count 4 for Atkins, 2 for Locke. Councilmember Atkins is now mayor.
Vice mayor,
Is that right?
vice mayor, yeah.
Sorry, vice mayor.
Next is the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission delegate and alternate.
Yeah, by the charter, the mayor is the first delegate, and then we just have to have an alternate, so you're just gonna open the floor for an alternate, for nominations.
Okay, I'd like to open up the floor for nominations for the alternate.
Well, what's the nomination of alternate?
Yeah, you're just nominating an alternate.
Atkins.
And you have a second. Anybody else? Any others?
Do an alternate in favor.
All those in favor of Ms. Atkins?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Sounds like Nicole Atkins has it. The volunteer firefighter fund, 2 members of council to serve on the board for a 1-year term commencing January 1st, 2024. We'll open the floor for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Tim Back.
I'll second it.
Sure.
I'd like to nominate myself for the second position.
I'll second that.
Does everybody accept the nomination? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That sounds like Tim Beck and Dave Nickerson are the volunteer members for the firefighter fund.
This is a board we hope to meet.
Yes.
For the appointments to the board, we're going to reappoint George Marcus for planning board. And then making a motion to reappoint George Marcus.
So moved.
Second.
I have a question on that. So, on this page it says appointed for 6-year term. Page 2. It says, as open seat and 1 request to be reappointed to the board for George Marcus for 4 years. Is it 4 years or is it 6?
I think it's 4.
I think it's 4.
Well,
years.
yeah, it says 6.
It's a 6.
Yeah, it says
And
6.
that's my, yeah. I'm
Yeah, that's why I was just trying to figure that out, because it's a little bit of a difference.
All in favor of, reappointing George Marcus?
This actually calls a roll call.
That's fine, we can do a roll call.
Okay, we do a roll call, please.
Councilmember Locke,
Yes.
Councilmember Zoll,
Yes.
Councilmember Sexton,
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson.
Yes.
Councilmember Back,
No.
Councilmember Perkins.
Yes.
Count 5 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
Law Director review of the municipal charter.
Thank you. The municipal charter provides that first meeting in January, there's to be presented a review of the charter and what is contained within it. Obviously, we're not going to read the entire charter and go through everything word by word, but I'm going to try to cover a few things in that review. First of all, a short review of the creation of the charter. In the late 1970s, the mayor and council members and concerned citizens in Lebanon felt that the upcoming census in 1980 may result in the village of New Lebanon having more than 5,000 residents, and that would result in the village becoming a city, thus subject to the laws of the state of Ohio relating to cities. It was decided that New Lebanon should take advantage of the home rule provisions of the Ohio Constitution and the Ohio Revised Code. The charter, village, or city is permitted to be established and establish certain laws and rules that self-govern so long as they don't conflict with the laws of the state of Ohio. Thus, the charter for municipality of New Lebanon was drafted, presented to the voters of New Lebanon, and passed to establish our charter. Of course, the census was not as expected. We did not have 5,000 residents, and therefore we have not become a city. But the charter is our constitution. As mentioned, the charter is in effect the constitution of the municipality of New Lebanon, Ohio. Section 103 of the charter provides that New Lebanon is a manager form of government. The then council recognized that it would be virtually impossible for the council to be either consistent, consistently available or even fully capable of running the village on a daily level. The mayor and council members had submitted grant applications and other applications for financial assistance, but it was clear that progress was going forward and the services of a professional, experienced, qualified, and trained manager would be necessary for the future growth and benefit of the village. Therefore, the manager form of government is what was put in the proposed charter and what was passed in the charter. Excuse me. The village is somewhat analogous or similar to a corporation, and in fact is incorporated. The manager is, for all intents and purposes, the chief executive officer of the village. The manager is responsible for the proper administration of the village. Underneath the manager, there are municipal departments, which include finance and records, public service, fire, police, and personnel. The head of each department is a director and is responsible to and appointed by the manager with the approval of council, and they are exempt officers of the village. The director of each department reports directly to the manager. The manager is the sole person in charge of the various departments. Neither council nor its committees shall in any manner take part in the discipline of, nor give orders to, any subordinates or employees in the administrative service. All such matters are to be directed directly to the manager. The municipal personnel rules dominate and provide authority over state and federal rules. The municipality of New Lebanon is not a city, and there is no civil service in New Lebanon. The charter provided for a mayor and 6 council members. The mayor and council members are all elected by the voters of New Lebanon. Their qualifications for the position are all set forth in the charter. The mayor is the ceremonial head of the government and is to preside at all council meetings. The mayor serves as a delegate to the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, and that was just voted on and passed, of course. And he must also represent the village at mayors and managers meetings. The mayor is a voting member of the council. The mayor presides at all council meetings. Council shall elect a vice mayor, which was done just a moment ago, who is elected for a one-year term and will preside at official meetings if the mayor is not available. The mayor and council members comprise the legislative branch of the village. As such, it is the duty and obligation of the council to propose, discuss, debate, and enact such ordinances and resolutions as they deem appropriate. In general, ordinances are laws. Ordinances must be proposed and read, or the title to the ordinance read, and that has to be read 3 times at 3 different separate village council meetings prior to being adopted by the council by a majority vote. In addition, the proposed ordinance must be posted at least 3 conspicuous places at least 7 days prior to its enactment. Also, the proposed ordinance is to be posted on the municipal website if available. Some of that is what was changed in the recent election, making certain amendments and changes to the charter. That is the current situation with the amendments that were passed. Resolutions do not require the reading of 3 different dates, but may be introduced in writing and adopted by a majority of the council. Motions can also be introduced and adopted by a majority of the council. All ordinances and resolutions must be published after enactment in at least 3 conspicuous places within the village, and the posting must indicate that a full copy of the ordinance or resolution is available at the village office. The ordinance or resolution shall be posted in the municipal website if that is available as well. And again, that was a modification that was made in the amendment to the charter. There is provision in the charter to pass emergency ordinances without the 3 readings if the council, by at least a vote of majority of the council, waives the 3 readings and defines the specific facts necessitating the emergency. Therefore, the government of the village is divided into 2 very specific divisions. The administration of the village and its departments, directors, and employees is under the village manager. The legislative division is with the mayor and council. As mentioned previously, the manager is the chief executive officer of the village, and the council is similar to a board of directors. The specific details of the daily business of the village are enhanced to the manager. And likewise, the residents are much like shareholders in a corporation. Much like a corporation, the shareholders or residents elect the board of directors, and their elections are what we saw here today, because we had members of the council have been elected and were sworn in. The council then hires the chief executive officer and manager to administer the business in a village on a daily basis. One of the details of the manager is to submit to council a budget estimate and also a 5-year capital program for the council to examine and review. The council shall adopt the budget as submitted or as amended. The village of New Lebanon operates on a fiscal year, which is a calendar year. The budget that council passes each year is the appropriation. It does not require further specific appropriations throughout the year to amend what was already submitted in the annual budget submission. Council by ordinance has established the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of each month at 7:30 p.m. as the regularly scheduled council meeting. The processes of initiative and referendum are reserved within the charter. Referendum refers to the ability of the electorate to have council action put to a vote of the electorate as to whether it will stand or be declared invalid. Likewise, an initiative permits and allows the electorate to place upon the ballot an issue which they feel needs to be addressed and which has not been addressed by council. The charter also provides for the recall of elected officials. The charter basically follows and defaults to the Ohio Revised Code with respect to the formalities and the process of recall procedure. One important issue provided in the charter is that of conflict of interest. It essentially states that no elected or appointed official can be an employee, that no elected or appointed official may hold any incompatible office. Further, personal interest is also covered in the charter and states that no member of council or any other officer or employee of the municipality shall have any financial interest, direct or indirect, in any contract with or sale to the municipality, of any materials, supplies, or services, or any land or interest in land. Section 804 of the charter provides for a charter review committee to be appointed every 10 years to review the charter and submit any recommendations as to changes, additions, or corrections to be made to the charter. This process was just gone through and an election or approval of submitted changes were presented to the electorate in November, and as I mentioned earlier, those passed and did make some changes to the charter. I think the last changes that were made prior to that time were back in 1993. Those recommendations are submitted to the electorate for further acceptance or rejection. As mentioned, that process was just completed. Some of the changes that I have mentioned were incorporated into that, into the vote of the electorate that was held in November. There are some other changes, including reducing the number of members of the Charter Review Committee. The charter provides that the Charter Review Committee would be 11 individuals, residents and voters in the village. It was deemed by the Charter Review Committee and approved by the electorate to reduce that to 9. So there would be 9 members of the Charter Review Committee. And it's always difficult to find voters who are willing to donate their time and get engaged in reviewing the charter and making recommendations or changes. Another change was to provide the council members, municipal employees, immediate family, or either elected officials or employees are not eligible to serve on the Charter Review Committee. So it is people in the community that are not already engaged with services to the community as council member, employee, or family members. Another change was to provide that all candidates for mayor and council be and remain in good standing on all municipal income taxes throughout their elected term. I think, again, going back to what I said at the beginning, without reading the entire charter, which would put all of us to sleep, as amended, this gives a good review of the charter and what the charter is all about and how the system is put to work. I tender that to the mayor.
Next on the agenda is old business. Does anyone on council have any old business?
Yeah, we just do that.
And we have no new business. Next is public comments or questions. I'll call your name and address for the record. And you'll have 5 minutes to speak and be heard. Once your time is up, you will be thanked. No additional time will be given, and no donation of time by others to others is allowed. We will not be stopping your time, but may, if necessary, address your comments after. First person is Tim Back, 31 East Main Street.
Well, how you doing?
Good evening.
Good to see some nice new faces. I want to congratulate Gail Joy for being reelected.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate the new council, the cronies, the letter that was said last time was really uncalled for. I hope you guys don't ever let that happen again. Because when you read a letter from an anonymous person and slander somebody, that's wrong. And I hope that you never do that again, and it never happens. She needs an apology. Shannon Venus deserves an apology. Mr. Keener, I wonder why you did not advise the previous mayor. He should have done that. That was a cheap shot. A cheap shot. I lost. So what? He got 400 votes last time when he ran for town, for the mayor. Okay, nobody in this town where it got that. The people that were elected, the cronies and whatever, got 100 more votes than him. So the cronies and these people out here that get bitched at over making their points, we need more Shannon Demuses in this town.
Amen.
A lot more. And I'm gonna tell you what, the people that were scared to come up here, because they said they were talking to deaf ears, come on up. You got new people. I wanna thank you all. And I hope you guys that are on the hot seat now, you all know it. You've all been here and seen what happens up here. Respect the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it. Next one is Natasha Farley, 136 Broadwood Street.
First, I would like to start with congratulating Gail, Councilmember Bax, Councilwoman Sexton, Mr. Mayor. Welcome. We appreciate the newcomers. I look forward to the positive change for the new year, as that is what a new year brings. I'm hoping for greater things for this community, more community involvement from council, from our mayor outside of election periods. And then I have a few things I would like to beseech of you as an elector and taxpayer of this community. The first thing is I ask you to review resolution 2023-15 and formally review Glenna's contract, as well as inquire into her performance in order to deem her worthiness to her position. Second, I asked for a full state audit with a state auditor, not a friend of a village employee. I would like for you to investigate the proposed annexations to Lebanon. As from taxpayers' eyes, they seem like nothing more than a big money grab. I asked for, and I'm actually glad that he's actually present for his one meeting for the calendar year, Scott Rock. I would ask for an investigation into Scott Rock and the entire service department. I do have the question of, have we actually installed and instilled a time clock? And if we have, I ask that we review those records and conduct an investigation into the performance of the service department employees. As I am hearing from many people about service department workers being caught drinking on the job, hanging out at parks for hours. So I ask that we look into this, as this is our money that you are spending to pay these people. I asked for an investigation into the police department for its spending and to ensure that it is actually upholding the rights of the citizens as it is sworn to do. I also ask that you look into new legal counsel, as the current law director has openly defamed members of the community, as well as state legal fact that is not a fact, and offer ill advice. I also recommend that you abolish the village charter, as there are many instances where the charter is an overreach of power, and any and all laws and regulations that you need are covered by Ohio state law. You all can pass a resolution for your council rules, as well as we already have the established Robert's Rule of Order. Lastly, I would like to ask, why are we reappointing George Marcus when he was openly caught collecting 2 salaries and fraudulent overtime pay. Does this not bring into question the ethics of his decision-making? He should be removed from all boards effective immediately based upon these unethical grounds. And I also ask you to examine all council members to ensure that they meet all new charter requirements, holding council members accountable to be able to hold their seats that Glenna and Ray so pushed for to be added to the charter. I thank you, and that's all I have this evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next person is Joshua Farley, 136 Brownwood Street.
How are you folks doing this evening? Good evening, Mr. Nickerson.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you guys doing? It's great to see you guys. So a couple of things I guess I just wanted to say. Nothing super major for me this evening. But did Mr. Brock, did he do the available, he has to do so many meetings per year, yeah? I don't believe that he fulfilled that requirement last year. Is that correct, or?
I believe you were at every quarter.
No, he was not at every quarter. He won't even answer the question because he knows the truth. Yes, Mr. Brock?
Questions are there.
I understand. So he can't answer the question either. So the answer to the question is no, Mr. Brock was not here. I can go through the records and show you myself. I don't know why we have to do this here. We shouldn't. Mr. Keener, I couldn't agree with my wife more. I think that you guys need to relook at this as a new council sitting down, a new mayor. I don't think that we should be run off of a charter. Charters are backwards. They try to get things over on the Constitution, and they try to hold overreach of law onto the community members. We definitely have enough state law to get by. There's famous presidents that have said, you can obviously find out how corrupt the government is by how many laws they have. So as far as you go down and you start adding more and more, there's more and more corruption, I believe. I would like to ask that you guys open up an investigation into the case that happened with me here standing right over here and voicing my free right to speech, my First Amendment right, speaking out against a public official and stating that he was in dereliction of his duty, which he was. I was arrested. I would like to see if council would bring up an investigation into it to see if there was in fact a conspiracy, which I believe there was, to have me arrested prior to my arrest that evening. I guess that's all I have this evening. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shannon Bemis, 130 Brownwood.
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm all thrown off with everything that just happened. So as you all know, our community lost a student and a friend to our children and the son of a mother yesterday. So Pastor Batts, what he said was kind of humbling tonight when he said, really, like me standing up here and saying what I have to say, is it really that important considering somebody's home grieving their son and their brother right now? So I really don't know what I want to say now after hearing that, and kind of just how it's been the past day and a half. Scott, I do think you were here all meetings, Melody, you were not. For the planning board for Marcus, it's 6 years, not 4 years. As far as the letter, Mr. Back, I appreciate you. I've never seen you come up to the podium. I appreciate you standing up for me. I don't need that, but I appreciate it. Congratulations, first of all, to new council. And regarding the letter, I actually find it funny. I know who wrote it. You know, I know you guys have got me since 2018. I'm hoping this year I've never had to give out a name. I've never had to give out a name, the service department, the police department, the fire department, on council, in admin and finance. I've never had to go there, even though you pushed me so close and I've been so close to kind of just blurting it all out. I have never done that. I've never been that person, but me, I'm the first anonymous letter that you guys get. Mr. Joy, you brought up actually the letter. very disappointing because with all the specifics that I know, and I don't know if you think that I'm bluffing or not, because I do know, and with new council, it's gonna all come out, it's gonna develop, and I do believe that things are gonna be made right in this town. I have faith. And for you guys to want to read the letter at a council meeting, specifically stating a citizen's name is just really crappy, really crappy.
Super bad.
Just not very professional. Like I said, not one time have I ever brought up an employee's name. I've never specifically given that information. I've never gone there, just out of common courtesy, as much as I want to, trust me. Because way too many people in this town talk, employees, your employees, your employees, your employees, all of your employees, your coworkers. Videos, pictures, black and white reports. So I'm just gonna start there. I'm not bluffing, I'm not up here. I don't come up here for free. See, I'm already digressing. Here I am. I am upset.
She should be upset.
So my question is, what was put into, I have to stand here and say my name and my address, or it will not be in record, right? I've been told that many times, correct? Okay, so was that letter put into record?
I believe so, because I think the mayor asked that it be put on record.
Okay, so I can't stand up here without giving my name and my address, or I'm not put on record. But an anonymous letter can be put in record.
You may consider talking. I'm just saying.
Can you pause my time while I wait for an answer, please? Mayor, will you please have me pause my time? That's another thing I'd like to address also is this standing time clock. I'd like you also, I guess that's one thing I'd like to consider is this time clock. You know, you have a lot of people here tonight because swearing in and stuff. You literally have like 3 people these meetings. Before I started coming up here, your meetings from start to finish were 6 minutes. Literally, that was a long meeting with 6 minutes. You guys are adjourned no later than 7:36 p.m. because nobody cared. Nobody, I mean, Mr. Bag, I appreciate that. The very first night, you caught a discrepancy on a piece of paper. That's why I voted for you. Because you know what, if this was the last meeting, it would have been yes across the board. Nobody would look twice at it, no discussion. Because do you know how many meetings that you guys have approved where the mayor's been absent and you guys, and he even approves them. He approves them and he's there and he wasn't even there. You guys approve stuff that isn't even factual. I went back to all the meeting minutes and actually reread them to you and pointed out all the mistakes that you guys, well, I shouldn't really say you people. It's so funny. It's so funny. So I'm gonna go into this new year with a new attitude. And I'm gonna give you all the benefit of the doubt, the new people especially. And I'm hoping that you will all do the right thing. You will all uphold your oath to our community, to our village. And I know you want to go on about this manager form of government, Mr. Keener, but ultimately, we are in charge. I am in charge. My taxpayer money is what makes this village go. So no, Glenna is not the CFO to me. The taxpayers elect council. Council hires a municipal manager. The municipal manager hires department heads. So there is a hierarchy here. And when it all comes down to it, everybody needs to be held accountable to each other. And if that's not being done, that's what your jobs are. And that's what I'm hoping for this year. So that's it.
Next is administrative staff comments. Police chief.
I have nothing tonight.
Does anyone from council have any questions for the police chief? Next one is the fire chief.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Anything for the fire chief? I actually have one thing. Hey, can you tell me the status of that house on Kane that you guys had the structure fire in? Is that, are we working towards removing that or waiting on insurance or homeowners? What's the status on that? You know?
That's actually gonna fall under zoning.
No, it's zoning,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. But I'm sure about that, okay.
Circle that one. So we're doing zoning next, so.
Nothing else for the fire chief, okay. How about the zoning compliance also? There we go.
Okay, as far as Kane goes, we have applied for a grant and we've been approved, but we're just going through the legalities of what we need to do as far as volunteer position.
What happened to the owners? Was it a rental or the?
No, it was some older folks, my understanding was at least one of them was deceased, one was in a nursing home, and the son lived in the house, but there was no insurance, so he just abandoned the house.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anything for the zoning compliance officer?
Why don't we, who's the grant writer?
Depends on the grant.
Huh?
Depends on the grant.
So is there multiple people that do it,
Mhm.
or? Okay.
We also pay a grant writer too.
Next is the chief financial officer.
I don't have anything.
Does anyone have anything for the chief financial officer this evening? No? Service department superintendent, does anybody have anything for Scott Brown this evening? Nothing?
Yeah,
You do? I'm sorry, go ahead.
you got that salt?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anything further for Mr. Brock? Municipal managers comments.
I do not have any. I just want to welcome all the new council members and the new mayor.
Anyone from council have anything for the municipal managers?
Can we get a count for how many water meters were installed last month?
Yeah.
Council member comments? Mr. Joy, I guess I'll start off with you, sir.
Yeah, so welcome to the council. It's, to go on what Shannon said, you know, it's not always nice hearing, some of the things, like some of the comments that come, from the residents, but I will tell you from my personal opinion, you know, I believe in redress of grievance, and I believe that, you know, we should make that avenue available. Thank you.
I would like to address the letter as it was to outgoing and incoming. I'm a little disappointed, just because, as Ms. Bemis stated, we have to, when somebody comes up there, they have to state their name and to talk to us about their grievances. And this person labeled it as the silent majority. While I appreciate everyone's freedom of speech, I believe the silent majority spoke when they voted. And to accuse Ms. Bemis of being the voice of the village and then writing this letter that I now hold in my hand and I will not read again. Sounds like they're trying to be the silent majority spokesman, and the only time the silent majority speaks is on an election. And that's when people get out and vote, and they voted for change. And I think that even though I wasn't part of council, Ms. Bemis, I would like to sincerely apologize for you being targeted and not even having the person to put their name on it. So I'm sorry that you had to go through that, and I sincerely hope that the rest of council doesn't let that happen again, because that's just disturbing. So I want to thank my family, God, all the support that I've had along the way. Wouldn't be here without my family, friends, and I'm excited to serve the people, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. So I just want to thank everybody for coming, and say a prayer for the man that, you know, lost his life, that grew up out here in our village. You know, life's short, people, and you know, we don't always get to wake up tomorrow, and a young man isn't going to get to be with his family. He was getting ready to serve his country, and I hope that if we can take one thing away tonight, more than political stuff, It's that you go home, and if you have differences with your family, don't go to bed angry with one another, and tell your loved ones how much you care about them, because tomorrow is never certain. So that's all I have.
Thank you. First, yeah, I got one for the financial officer. Do we have any loans,
Don't have any loans left, firehouse loan.
please?
We have a firehouse loan.
Let me see.
The firehouse loan,
Okay.
that's our interest-bearing loan, and then we have OPWCs.
How long are they for?
Say that again.
How long are they for?
The firehouse one, we will be done by May of 2025. We have 2 payments this year and then 1 final payment.
I got one. Everybody knows about the annexation.
Mhm.
The new water main is going to be put in, rather than the old ones, for the, where you don't have to switch it.
The readers,
Yeah. okay.
Yes.
New ones,
yeah, the readers would be installed,
rather than. well,
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Winford. Is that it?
I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I also want to congratulate you all, the council members and mayor. I do want to touch on, I'm not going to go into detail about the letter. I wasn't here the last meeting, something sudden came up. But I was kind of disappointed, the way all that went down. And, I'll have to agree with, Tim back on pretty much everything that he said. And apologize to Shannon as well. I want to lift Don, Dave, and Nate up as they they're gonna go through this difficult time. And the extended family. If you don't know them, they're great people, and, they could really use everyone's support right now. And that's all I have.
Ms. Long?
I also would like to welcome the new council members and, the new mayor. Going off with Pastor, Stevens as well. We have great loss. We've had a lot from other areas too, other people, but, certainly, that family is going through a lot. And to our community this coming year, I wish them nothing but blessings, and, this world has got a lot of, I don't even know what the words would be to use, but, we love to see our community come together. Because that is what it's all about. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Since we don't have no vice mayor comments, I guess I'll go ahead and make mine. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone being here. For those that know me, my family's here, my friends are here. I walked this town many, many miles a week before the election, and I talked to a lot of people. I went to their homes and talked to them. And that shows how the voting went. And my promise to you in front of all of you is that we are going to take care of our community. I promise that. And that's coming from a vet of 33 years in the Army. So we will take care of it. This is our first meeting, so if you will, give us a little bit of time to stretch a little bit and figure out what's going on. And we will be moving forward, I promise you that. Okay? So thank you very much, I appreciate it. Appreciate my family being here. My son and my daughter-in-law are down from Alaska, from Fort Wainwright. So very appreciative. This council, we have a very unique team up here, and we're gonna all work together to make it right. We're gonna make it better. Okay? And my phone number, my door at my home is always open. You wanna come and see me, come and see me. Okay? So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And with that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Yes,
Second.
second? Can you take the roll call, please? Sir?
Councilmember Perkins,
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Councilmember Sexton.
Yes.
Councilmember Back,
Yes.
Councilmember Locke,
Yes.
Councilmember Joel.
Yes.
Count six yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.